Alright, what is up? This is Dropping Honest 42 here. I'm going to show you guys my Blue Eyes White Dragon deck for the most recent August 29 format. I'm really happy with it. It's really good. It's really consistent. It's really aggressive, and it's really fun to play. There are lots of combos, which is one of the reasons why I built it. The other reason being I absolutely love Blue Eyes White Dragon. I just also wanted to say I've had quite a number of people recently request like a spellbook deck for the current format. I'm definitely going to do that, but I'm just kind of changing I'm thinking about what I'm going to do with my spellbook deck at the moment. I don't want to just put out the same video that I've already got just to put out a new video. I want to make sure that when I put it out, it's a good deck and that it's interesting and it's better than it currently is. So, but I will definitely do that, so don't worry. But anyway, let's get into this one, which is the point of this video. So, running the 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons. Not much to say about that. Same with the 3 alternatives. It's pretty standard. It's a fantastic card. So, running the 3 of them. 2 Spirit Dragons. I think Spirit Dragon is really good. The ability to banish scales, and they don't go to the extra deck to just come back. The ability to banish really annoying face downs, and the effect that people seem to forget to mention frequently is the ability to tag it out and summon a Blue Eyes in your hand. It's a bit of a safety net, so if your opponent's going to try and get rid of it, you can get rid of it quickly, summon a big Blue Eyes, and have that little bit of extra protection and keep a bit of field presence about you, especially because there are some pretty hard monsters to get through in this deck because, they're all absolutely enormous 3k beaters. But yeah, so 2 of them. 3 Sage. Sage is fantastic. You're obviously going to play the 3 Sage, searches all of your level 1 Shuners, sets up your Synchro plays. He's just fantastic. 3 of the White Stone of the Ancients. Again, I think this card is absolutely fantastic. The ability to banish it in your graveyard and get back a Blue Eyes, especially summon an alternative in your hand, for example, is just phenomenal. And yeah, this is probably I reckon I probably like this card more than Sage at the moment. It's probably helped me win more duels than the Sage has, so I think this card's fantastic. I'm playing 1 Maiden. You most certainly do not have to play Maiden. I do not like Maiden all that much. She's, at the moment, just an extra Sage target. And a little bit of a combo with Sage if you've already got her on the board to get out 2 Blue Eyes and maybe go for an XYZ. But yeah, you don't have to play her, and I would actually quite like to swap her out for the original White Stone of Legend. But I don't own one, and I don't want to use a common one. So I'm looking out for a super, but yeah, so Maiden's alright, but she's certainly not the best card in the deck, and probably the first card that I would try and get rid of, so that's why she's there. 1 Effect Veiler, Tug of a Sage, absolutely fantastic. I'm siding other Veilers. I'm not going to show you the side deck, but yeah, I think Veiler's really good, and just about everybody plays her anyway, so that shouldn't be too much of a surprise. And then maining 2 Maxi. Maxi is fantastic. I would never go back on maining Maxi. I main it in just about every deck. I played it in my Cosmo deck, and part of the reason that I'm not putting out my Spellbook deck at the moment is I want to try and fit this guy into my Spellbook deck, because I don't special summon much anyway, and I need all the advantage I can get in that, but that's for the other deck profile. But Maxi is just fantastic, and you got to play it, in my opinion. That's all of the monsters that I'm running. It's pretty Blue Eyes centric, but it's pretty consistent, and I'm really happy with it. For the spells, 3 Melody. Fantastic search card, gets everything going. If you've already got a Blue Eyes in your hand, search 2 alternatives, and that gives you a bit of a buffer for the next 2 turns as well. But yeah, so Melody's fantastic. Best spell card in the deck, Return of the Dragon Lords. Oh my god, so good. Gives you that extra bit of protection. Sets up so many plays, just extends what you can do. It's just fantastic. It's the best card. 1 Silver Scry, because it's also fantastic. The ability to, you can tag out a Spirit Dragon, punch with Blue Eyes, and then Silver Scry, bring out your Spirit Dragon again, attack, and then tag it out if you've got another Blue Eyes. I don't know, you probably won't, and you probably never do that, but there's lots of things that you can do with it. 1 Soul Charge as well, which is absolutely incredible in this deck. It's stupid, but yeah, that's why I'm going to play it, obviously. 3 Trade-In, pretty standard, really good. 2 cards of Consonance. When I first built this deck, I was playing with the Field Spell, but I really hated that. Like, I did maybe 10, probably less than 10, but less than 10 duels with it, and I hated it. What I did with the Field Spell just about every time was discard it for Melody, because I had no use for it. I was mostly playing it just for easier access into Crystal Wing with that extra normal summon. But yeah, I absolutely hated that, so I changed it for Consonance for a little bit of a quick fix, because I was just playing with my buddy all day. and I've actually really been quite happy with it, and that's another reason why I want to fit in Whitestone of the Legend, just as an extra Cards of Consonance target. And it is like, even though you've only got the 3 targets, it's really consistent, because if you've got Sage in your hand, you can search Ancients, use Cards of Consonance, and then during the end phase you get a special summon of Blue Eyes. So ultimately it's a +1, and it gives you an extra 2 cards to potentially extend combos and plays and things like that. So I'm really happy with it, to be honest. 2 Dragon Shrine, probably my least favorite spell in the deck, because if I see it during the late game, it's pretty... Like, I've got so many resources to get dragons out of my deck, it's pretty useless, and I'll only be really sending the 1 card. Maybe I might even get rid of it for Melody if I've got the option to use Melody, but yeah, I'm not too happy with the Dragon Shine. It's still really good, and it's fantastic during the early game, which is why I don't really want to play 1 copy. But yeah, so I'm not too sure on this one, but it's up to you, obviously. 1 Raigeki makes it really easy to punch for game. If you've got, what's he called? Dark Matter on the board, and you activate Raigeki, you've just about got game there, and that doesn't take particularly many cards to do, so I'm really happy with Raigeki, and I think the deck is already really aggressive as it is, so I don't really need any more cards to extend combos and things like that. I'm pretty happy with it. And then the last 2 spells are the 2 Twin Twisters, just to get rid of tricky back row. And there's a lot of... you can get rid of lots of back row in this deck through a Spirit Dragon as well, but just the ability to get rid of extra with Twin Twister, maybe discard a Legend, Whitestone of the Ancients, get a Blue Eyes during the end phase. I'm really happy with it. So those are all the spells. For the traps, I'm only playing 4 of them. I'm playing 1 Warning and 2 Strike. I was originally playing Warning and 3 Strikes, and that was fine, but I decided to take a Strike out and put Vanities in, and I think that's the best decision I've made for the whole time, because this card wins you duels all the time. This card is absolutely incredible. This is probably the best card in the deck, really. If I could play 4, I would play 4, but obviously I can't, so just the 1. But yeah, it's the nuts. It's the best card. That's it for the main deck. It is a 40 card main deck. I'll show you the extra deck. I'm missing a few cards, like Crystal Wing, for example. But the extra deck is mostly up to you and how you built your main deck and what you think you go into more and you utilize more. But yeah, so I'm using 2 Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon, obviously, and the 1 Azure Eyes. You're never really going to go into more than 1 Azure Eyes. I think maybe once I've wanted to go into Azure Eyes a second time. But even then, you've got other options, and you probably won't really ever need it. But yeah, so those ones. Michael, because it would give you access into Crystal Wing as well, plus you can get rid of any tricky cards that you don't really want going to the graveyard. 1 Moonlight Dragon, pretty obviously, and 1 Stardust Spark Dragon. I've also got Psyframe Lord Omega in the extra deck at the moment. I would swap this for Crystal Wing. I've never summoned it, and I probably won't because it's not really worth it. But I do have Omega in there at the moment, just as a bit of a token for where the Crystal Wing would be. Those are all the synchros that I'm playing for the Xyz monsters. I've got 1 Tachyon, 1 Full Armor, and 1 Dark Matter. I really want to play Cypher, because I think Cypher's really good, but at the moment, these are the ones that I'm playing. My only issue with Dark Matter at the moment, one of the reasons why I want to play Whitestone of Legends, is that I don't particularly like sending Alternative off of Dark Matter, even though you're usually going to try and push for game in that sort of situation anyway. Sometimes I run out of targets without having 3 different, because I've already activated Melody maybe twice, and I've run out of all of the Blue Eyes or the what's he called, alternatives in my deck, and I've only got 4 different dragons in my deck, so that's another reason why Legend would be really useful. It's just an extra name that might make him a little bit more viable. But yeah, and I would also really like to use Galaxy Eyes Cypher Dragon, but I don't have one. Hope Harbinger, fantastic. 1 Hieratic Dragon, because it doesn't target, which can be really good for getting rid of tricky cards, because obviously Alternative does target. I got 1 Thunder End Dragon in there at the moment, which I don't care about, and would probably switch it for the Cypher, but at the moment I don't own one, and I mean, it's still a pretty good card, so I've got him in there. And then the 1 Twin Burst Dragon, because I think Twin Burst Dragon is really cool. He's a really fun card. I think I've summoned him maybe once and I didn't need to. I just did it for a bit of style, because I think he's a really cool card. He's a nice secret rare, and I'm all about rarity, and really pretty looking cards, so yeah, I got him in. But yeah, so that's the deck. Let me know what you think. Obviously, I've already told you what I would sort of change with my deck with regards to Maiden and putting in Legend, and obviously Crystal Wing in the extra deck. But yeah, thanks, and yeah, I will put up my Spellbook deck hopefully pretty soon.